So I've already drawn your first two cards for love, because we are reading for love, as you can see. And I wanted to let you know that so far your reading looks very promising. And I want to give you a pat on the back because you are taking some time out for yourself. Taking time out for yourself to gain perspective on past relationships and how you've approached them. The reason I say that is that this is the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is the card that you probably most relate to of all the minor arcana cards. It's that beautiful heart that's pierced by three swords. See the heart? Now, that is a symbol that has been used by sportswear manufacturers and churches alike. And so it's quite a beautiful card, and it speaks to pain, separation, divorce. It's a card of healing if it's in the reverse, and this card is a card of reevaluation in the upright. Reevaluation of that time period where you were, basically your heart was cut, and there was an awful lot of pain that went along with that. Now there's been healing, the healing has occurred, and now you're in a position to take a couple of steps back for some reason. Now I'm feeling like this has been happening, or this has happened for you. If you are in relationship in the past, this is a past relationship, and you are now, for some reason, something's happened that is now creating this sense of equanimity in you, where you are able to come and step back a few paces and even lie down on the coffin that you built before you went out to battle. Now, that's an interesting little story, because that's what this card is all about. When the knights would go out to battle, they knew that the chance of survival was, I don't know what the odds were, but I'm sure that they weren't that great, that they could have been killed in battle, so they would commission a coffin. Now, if they came back and then they were triumphant, they would actually spend time lying on that coffin and trying, to understand what they did right and what they did wrong within the battle. How did they survive this battle? Why were they the ones who survived? And it can also speak to survivor's guilt a little bit, in that you have survived quite well. However, if you have been in a relationship, it is always a good thing to go back and evaluate and reevaluate what your part was in the demise of that relationship. How did you cause pain? How did they cause pain? What can you do better the next time? When we speak to battle, of course, it's balance of control within relationship. And so when you present yourself in relationship, you want to be able to intellectually wrap your mind around the relationship in a positive way. This is a very stable card. It's a 4, and 4s always speak to solidity and a foundation. So this is more of a mental foundation, taking time out so that you're feeling mentally stable within a relationship. Now, if you're not in relationship, this card can speak to just taking a retreat, going to the spa, putting a do not disturb sign on your office door or your bedroom door, and taking time for yourself and letting other people know that you need that headspace to just clear your mind and renew your thought process. Good card. Next card to come up is the 10 of Wands, and as I said, I already did part of this reading and realized that the camera wasn't turned on, so I'm going to go back through what I've already said. This card speaks to responsibility and also to the ability to finish a project. Your challenge is to finish a project, to take it all the way to fruition. And that project could be a relationship. And relationships can become projects. There are all these little things that you have to do within a relationship to keep things going well. And you have your duties and they have their duties, and you have your honeydews and they have their honeydews. And so this is the challenge, to meet expectation, and this is on a very creative level as well. Will you be able to finish your creative projects in time this month? And we'll find out what that has to do with the end of the month. But creative projects being, if you are at work and you have a lot of things going on, it could be a bit of a challenge in a relationship because you've got so much responsibility already. It can make you feel overwhelmed. You can maybe not be looking at the big picture. If you see he's looking down, he's not looking up. So sometimes it's okay to lay your burden down and know that you will finish, but to just leap out and look at everything as if, from a bird's eye perspective. Interestingly enough, this Four of Swords speaks to that, because that is retreating and stepping back a few paces and gaining a broader perspective. And that applies to this card as well. And so gaining a broader perspective in all matters, be that your creative endeavors, seeing them from a higher perspective, and also getting your head wrapped around recovery from the past pain and breakup. Okay, and we have a 5 now coming up. This is usually a conflict card. It's a rock and a hard place card, and I call it that because there's one guy who has won this battle. You can see there's a couple of guys walking away that aren't feeling so great. He's got this smug expression on his face, but the storyline goes, these two will be back. And so even though you've won this battle, you have not won the war. That's interesting with this Four of Swords. This does say that you've won the battle. Now, in the reverse, it's better because it tells us that you are looking for a solution that's a win-win. And I usually go with that interpretation. It is a magnification of this card, rock and hard place card. Win-win situation would mean you're looking for a way to make a relationship work, or you're looking for a way to create opportunity within your relationship house. And so if you are single, you may be reevaluating at this point past relationships, and that's really good. Taking a break, stepping back, maybe not dating for a little while. That could be 2 days or 2 months or 2 years, but you just have you've resolved that within yourself, and you are now on this very positive path of self-understanding. I love that, because if you're able to become extremely logical and mentally stable in the way that you approach your love life, your challenge, which could be your career or whatever you do, whatever you're passionate about, you can figure out how all of that fits into the next relationship. And this is problem solving, because before you've probably felt as if you can't get those potential partners to fit into your life because you do have all of these passions and you do have all of these goals and you do want to take all of this over the hill and onward to, and I'm hearing publishing or opening or all of this. You want to take your passion and your music or your art or your book or your company, you want to take it all to the most successful level, whatever you deem that to be, and move on. Okay, so go to the next level. And how do you do that when you're working a lot of hours? Probably this is what you think about all the time. It's hard for you to relate to someone when you're in a dating situation because you're still thinking about what went on during the day and how you're going to get this done. You have to go into work early, or you'd rather be doing this. Well, you'll figure that out. That's good. By stepping back, taking some time out, and looking at how you've approached past relationships. Oh, good. And at the end, you get a really good card, Ace of Wands. So at the very end of July or mid-July, it looks as if there's going to be a new, exciting, and I want to say something that gets you going, that gets your blood boiling. Someone who makes you feel passionate. And since we're speaking to love, this is an ace. And so that's a new form of passion coming in. And you're going to find something, if you're in relationship, that really turns you on about this person, if you're already in relationship, and they become your passion. And so instead of it being, oh my God, it's such a heavy burden, or, he's not heavy, he's my brother, love is heavy. It's not going to feel heavy at all by the end of the month. It's going to feel, it's just going to feel brand new. And you're not going to be so distracted. You're going to be more single of mind. And this is also spiritual advice, because it is telling you to not get bogged down. To make choices that you can really get a hold of, and that you can take and sort of pass on, if that makes sense. Because if you're in relationship, you want to be able to share. You want to be able to share your passion. And it's hard when you sit down at the dinner table to share everything. All your passions, everything that you've done during the day, everything that you want to do, all the pieces. And this is like coalescing all of that, which is really great, because your challenge was that 10 at the end of the month. It all sort of comes together and it becomes this single, it's like it's transmutated. It's a transmutation into this one single torch, which is really cool. And if you're going to school, let's just say, all of the things that you've learned are going to come together, and you're going to go and you're going to take it as a way to sort of light your path. It's going to light your path. You're going to be able to present yourself as someone who is very passionate and together. It's just the total opposite of the 10 of Wands, which was your challenge. It's the ace. So it's like people understand what it is that you stand for, or what your passion is. Like, they get it, and you light up the room, and it's really great. Now, I'm also going to say, if you're single and you're looking for love, someone is going to turn you on. And the month opens, very interestingly enough, with this 4. And so you've sort of been out of the game. Well, you're out of the game, but you've had this 10 of Wands situation going on. Now, the 10 of Wands situation that's going on just means you're feeling overly burdened, and it's just getting you to the point where you're wondering if you can ever really take a relationship to the next level. And Wands can mean a lot of things, but if you're not in relationship right now and you've taken a break, you might just be, your challenge is to not take on all the responsibility for the relationship, because maybe that's what you usually do. So who is the person who's giving and who is the person who's receiving? That needs to be ironed out. By the end of the month, we have this wonderful card which says you're really turned on. Somebody's really turning you on. And this is a brand new thing. And maybe you're willing to drop all of that responsibility for this one thing that or person who really turns you on. And you're clear-eyed and you're not thinking about, oh brother, this is going to be a big responsibility if I'm with this person. All you're thinking about is that they turn you on. So that's pretty cool. For those I'm going to read who are not in relationship, and this reading would pertain to those types of people because I see a lot of career in here. It can basically just mean you've taken a break from relationship because of past pain and your challenges. You got a lot of stuff going on anyway, and that's keeping you really from even seeking new relationship. But there are a couple of reasons here why. 4 would tell me that you're backing up and that you want time for yourself, and this is not the time for you to be going out there and seeking new relationships. And you also want a win-win situation. So any battles that have occurred in the past, you're not interested in getting yourself involved in that kind of situation. But at the very end, we do have this Ace of Wands. And so if you're not looking for love, it just speaks to the fact that you're going to, at the end of the month, feel really turned on by some situation. And it's going to be just as great as if you fell in love with a person. You're going to fall in love with some aspect of life. And that's just as wonderful as is falling in love with someone, because basically it means you fall in love with yourself. And who should we more love than ourselves? We are our own best friends, and so that's very positive. Okay, Taurus, you got an excellent reading. Very good at the end. If you are looking for love, this is a great month to do it because you're clearing your head, and at the end of the month, someone's going to turn you on. You've spent the time really in discovery of who you are, and there's a situation that works itself out toward the end of the month where this opportunity opens up and you're able to get past even your own thinking to make it a win-win situation, or your own. I'm hearing stumbling block because of career and taking on too much responsibility, not to allow relationships to occur, and defending yourself because you do have to work so much. But at the end of the month, I see that you're going to drop the armor and drop your weapons and find a win-win situation, spend more time with your partner, or dating that person who you're interested in, and then you realize that they really turn you on. So very good reading. So please show up next month. Watch your rising and your moon sign, and if you would, please get a personal and private reading, and also check on the council cards. I'm going to be reading next month for August, and I thank you for tuning in. My throat's getting sore, but have a